What's up, guys, and welcome back to another man versus deer video. In today's video, we're talking about turkey vests and the contents of my turkey vest. I'm going to break down what I carry and why I carry it. Let's jump into it.
This is probably one of my bigger bucks to date.
Guys, I cannot believe that actually worked.
Looks like a double long shot.
It was hot, really hot.
Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you smash that subscribe button. Definitely like the video, and if this video was helpful or you have any questions, ensure that you drop a comment after you watch the video. But in today's video, we're talking all about my turkey vest and the contents that I'm carrying in it. I'm kind of doing like a vest dump. I'm gonna just pull items out of the vest and tell you what they are and then why I carry them, and give you a little bit of a brief description about everything that's in there. So I'm gonna get started. So the first thing I'm gonna pull out, and it's one of the most useful things that I carry in my turkey vest, is a set of Snippers. I don't know if you guys have seen these before, but they're basically just hedge clippers or brush snippers, whatever you want to call them. But if you go to sit down next to an oak tree and there's a little thorn bush by it, or you're trying to nestle back into some bushes, I mean, this thing will cut branches that are bigger around than my thumb relatively easy. So if you're trying to cut a little hole in the brush for you to like snuggle back into, or you're sitting on some thorns, this thing comes in super handy. I do not leave home without it. The next thing I'm going to pull out of here is a gobbler. Some days I don't even take this thing with me. It has been super helpful on a couple of late season hunts where I could not get gobblers to respond to regular hen calling, but as soon as I shook the gobble tube, they responded to me. So sometimes I take this, sometimes I don't, but more late season use than anything. But it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So I carry one of these with me most of the time. Next item is an owl hooter. I like the big wooden ones. These work really, really well early season. I haven't had that much luck with them late season. I feel like by the end of the season, they've hurt every owl hooter known to man. But early and mid-season, these things are fire for locating a bird early in the morning or even in midday. I've got the HS Strut Big Hooter, and this one is by far my favorite owl hooter that I've ever used. I carry a couple other ones that I'll vary from time to time, but this is my go-to one. The next item is Slate Calls. The first Slate Call I have is an HS Strut Slate Witch, and I've had this thing for as long as I can remember. Got a running tally of birds that I've killed on it on the side here. And the other one that I carry is a glass call. It's called a Little Deuce. Both these calls are just generic Walmart calls, and it's good to have a little variation. So I carry one slate and I carry one glass. And before I move on from the Slate Calls, I'm gonna move right into strikers. I actually carry 4 different strikers with me. This one is the one that came with the Slate Witch, and I've had it for forever. This is one that I just bought at Walmart. It's like a rosewood. This is one that I ordered from, I can't even remember. I've had it for so long. And this one right here, this is one that I just picked up this year. It's a JT Calls, but it's got a waterproof tip, and you can dunk a call in water and still be able to call with these. The reason I carry 4 different strikers is each one of these strikers makes a different sound on that slate call. So I have 4 different sounds I can make on each call. That's 8 different sounds total, and I'll kind of vary which strikers and calls I'm using throughout the day until I get one fired up. But that can be super helpful. Your call can basically make as many different sounds as many different strikers that you carry. So while we're on the subject of slate calls and strikers, I carry one of these with me. It's got several different surfaces that are used to like rough up your different slate calls, and then inside the mill it's got a little like sanding pad on it. Super convenient tool, especially for glass. I like to rough my glass up just a little bit. It sounds a lot better when it's just a little rough, so I carry one of these. Next item on the list is mouth calls. These are my go-to. My go-to mouth call is actually this little Primos call, and again I get it from Walmart, but I've killed more birds with this call than any other call in here. And my wife actually got me this little pouch from Woodhaven that I keep them all in, but I run my 6 favorite calls in here. I use a little toothpick to separate the reeds, so these calls are pretty much ready to go as soon as I pull that toothpick out. They don't get stuck together or anything, and I just keep this in one of my pockets. Super, super handy. So the next item on the list is a crow call. I definitely recommend keeping one of these in your vest. If the owl hooter isn't working or any of your other locator calls aren't working, sometimes these can be super effective. Now there's a lot of places I hunt around here that are just loaded with crows, and for some reason it does not work in those areas. But there's other areas I hunt where they're vacant, and these can be good for getting you a shotgun. A headlamp. I use these. The closer I get to where I'm going to sit, I'll turn these off. But if I'm walking a long ways in, always handy to have a headlamp. So that one kind of speaks for itself. So there's 3 more things that I put in my vest that I have with me at all times. One of those is a folding pocket knife in case I'm successful and I get a bird, I can clean it. The second is a Ziploc bag so I can put those turkey breasts in, especially if it's going to be a long haul out. And the third thing is extra shotgun shells. I usually keep about 3 extra shells in my vest somewhere. But that's pretty much it. That's what I carry into the woods. Well guys, that's basically what I carry in my turkey vest. Some people probably carry more, some people probably carry less. That's the stuff that I have to have. That's the stuff that works for me. If I had to pick one item that's the MVP of this whole thing, I would say that these brush snippers, or these hedge clippers, whatever you want to call them, they have been the most helpful thing. I started carrying them last year and they just make all the difference. I actually went to carrying one of these in my mobile deer hunting setup too. You get up a tree and there's a branch that's sticking out that's as big as your thumb and you want to get rid of it. These things will do it. They do it relatively easy and they do it relatively quiet. So if I had to pick one thing in the vest that was like an MVP item, it would be this guy. But hopefully that video was helpful to you guys. We're at the end of it now. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you like it, and then if you have any questions or you enjoy the content, make sure that you drop a comment below. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll catch you in the next one.